So a while ago, on my original KWA T10 video, a viewer commented and asked me to do a maintenance video for the T10. I don't like opening this up too much just because it's an AEG and there's a lot of moving parts. You can see right here I have another one of my guns apart. It's HPA. Actually, I have two different guns taken apart right now. This blue one here as well, which is also an HPA. This holds my Kythera in it. But they're HPA systems, which are really easy to work on, so I don't mind taking those apart if I'm asked to do so by a viewer that might have questions about it, because they're really easy. AEGs are a little more troublesome, so I don't like taking them apart. But I told the guy that I would do it, you know, just because it's good information if you don't know how to do it already. So here it is. It's been a while. I'll be honest, he probably asked me to do it like a month and a half ago. I just haven't been able to get around to it, and I finally did so. So I'm going to be opening this up. I'm not going to show the disassembly in the video. If you want to know how to disassemble it, watch the first video where I show you how to take everything apart. I will say though, in the first video, I lost this screw that goes back here in the base plate. There's a screw that goes in here. I lost that screw a while ago when I disassembled this in the field. So I don't show myself taking that out in the original video. And that's obviously because I don't have it. But if you need to disassemble your KWA, you do need to take this screw out, because this screw connects to a little hole right here, and it keeps the gearbox in place. So something to keep in mind, and something that I missed in the first video. So I'm going to open this up real quick. I'm not going to show that part. If you need to open this up, it's a Torx 10 for all these screws, and it just pops apart real easy. I'll mention again, just in case this is your first time opening it, be very careful when you pop this open, because there's a lot of things in here with springs that can fly out, that like to fly out. So just keep that in mind whenever you're opening this up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll come right back in and tell you about what I do for maintenance. So I will be doing a trigger swap on this. I'm going to take this purple one out, and I'm going to put this green one in. And this purple one's going to go in my HPA system. So because of that, I'm going to have to readjust my settings for my trigger here so I can get this short pull that I like. If you have a gate tighten in yours and you don't have the cable or the Bluetooth thing to connect it to your phone and check your settings like that, definitely pick them up. This is what it is. This is a gate control station cable. This is the USB link. There's a blue link and the USB link. This is the USB link right here. I know some shops sell them for like 20 bucks. I'm not sure how much Elix sells them for, but I know they do have them there on sale, assuming they're not out of stock. But this is going to be very helpful because it'll let you connect your gate to your phone or your computer, and it'll let you mess with settings a lot easier than trying to do it with the little card thing that I've seen some people use. The card isn't as common anymore now that the blue link and the USB link are out, but it's still out there, and it's still an option if you want it. I know for sure from my experience that using your phone is way more convenient and easier to do. So if you have a gate in your AEG system and you want to do any kind of setting adjustments, definitely pick up either a USB link or a blue link in order to do that, make your life a lot easier. Alright, so here is the inside of my gearbox. As you can see, I got my Titan full max system right here. Literally everything's max. Got the max cylinder, max nozzle, max cylinder head. The piston is SHS, but the piston head is also max along with the rest of it. The trigger is speed soft, fully adjustable, so it's got the screw for the pre-travel and the screw for the post-travel. Obviously I've got my gate tighten in here. This tablet plate here, this is not the stock tablet plate. I'll show a little bit more about that after I pull everything out. Obviously my gate tighten, and then me specifically for my build, I run 16:1 gears made by SHS, if I remember correctly. I have tried 13:1s. Obviously the stock 18:1s that come in here I've tried those as well. And these, the 16-to-1s, for whatever reason, just happen to be my favorite. I like the response that I get a lot better. 13-to-1s, yes, obviously they are faster, but when I'm doing builds, I don't necessarily go for rate of fire, because let's be honest, most fields don't even allow full auto. So I don't see the point in having a gun that can shoot 70 RPS if you're never going to be able to use it. Plus, if you're one of those accuracy by volume players, you probably need to get better. You're not a good player if you need to shoot 80 rounds to hit one person. So that's just my opinion. But I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna pull everything out, and then I'll touch base on a couple of things here that you should know when you're doing maintenance on these. Right, so everything's out. The very first thing you want to do is wipe everything down. Because these gate systems work on optical sensors, if any grease or any kind of obstruction gets in the way, it won't be able to properly sense your sector gear as it's spinning, and it will stop functioning, so it'll have a malfunction. So you want to make sure that there's a sensor right here. Kind of hard to see because it's so small, but there's a sensor right there. You want to make sure that that's clean, so have some Q-tips on hand. Just slightly, very lightly rub it. You don't have to put too much pressure on it or anything crazy like that. Just make sure you get any excess grease out of the way. And because, like I said, because these do have optical sensors in them, you don't want to use an excessive amount of grease on your gears after you clean them either, because if it flings off and covers that sensor, again, you're going to have malfunctions. So just first things first, just wipe that down real quick. And then do the same with your gears, wipe those down as well, and then do the same with the inside of your cylinder. Make sure you get in there and wipe everything down. If you have stuff on the front of your piston, get that off as well. You will end up re-greasing everything, so don't be too concerned about not having any kind of lubricant on there when you close it back up, so that everything functions properly. So just get it nice and clean. I'm going to clean this off camera just because there's no need for me to show you how to do that. Pretty self-explanatory. This is the grease that I use to lubricate my builds. I use it in everything: my Kythera, my F2, my T10, my Vector, and my G&G. I use it in all of them. So far it's been pretty good. I can't see it causing any issues with my builds. So I definitely recommend using this. I have been given recommendations about other techs. I just haven't gotten around to trying any of that stuff because I still have a decent bit amount of this. So I don't feel the need to change what I'm using since it's been working fine. Maybe once I run out of this, I'll try something else. But until then, I'm just going to keep using this multi-purpose synthetic grease here. You can get this at Ace Hardware, Lowe's, Amazon, eBay, Home Depot. Any of those places should have it. So for lubricating, it's just a small amount. I'm not sure. You literally don't need very much of it for the gears. Just enough to get a really light coating on everything. Again, remember, these things are moving at high speeds, and this may fling off and cover your sensors, which you don't want. So, very lightly coat your gears to get them lubricated just enough so that they don't cause unnecessary friction with each other as they're spinning, and with the motor as well. And then do the same on the inside of the cylinder, and you should be good. That's literally all I can think of as far as maintenance for these AEGs, is just every once in a while open it up, clean it out completely, and then re-lubricate, re-grease. Check any wires if anything's damaged or chewed up or anything, especially these wires here by the motor. These could potentially come out and get caught in the pinion gear and get chewed up. So, I mean, stuff like that is what you're looking for. But maintenance on AEGs is honestly really simple, and maintenance on HPAs is even easier, to be completely honest. So that's literally all there is to it. Nothing outrageous or crazy or super difficult to figure out. And then I mentioned that this wasn't the stock one. I threw away the stock one that I had that came in this build. So if you want to use a V2 nozzle with a T10, you have to buy this part. And this part, oh damn it, I got the grease on the tip of it. This part is available on the KWA website. All you have to do is Google KWA Tappet 325. And this part should come up. They cost like $12, I think, on the KWA website. It's the only way you'll be able to fit a V2 tappet plate into a KWA T10. I'm not sure if other KWAs have proprietary tappets, but I do know that T10 does. And if you're wondering whether or not you can just buy any regular tappet plate, you can't, because this doesn't have that hook at the bottom. It has this stud thing here instead, right? So this isn't a standard V2 tappet plate. You can't just buy any tappet and throw it in this and expect it to work. It has to be specifically the one from KWA, and it's part number 325. So KWA Tappet 325 in a Google search should take you to the direct page that you need in order to find this. And then you'll be able to fit a standard V2. If otherwise, you're kind of stuck with the stock tappet and nozzle, which are not that great in my opinion. They do have leaks pretty bad, and it could cause compression issues and FPS variances that you may not want in your system. So if you want to get a better seal, if you want better air seal in your system, pick up this proprietary V2 tappet and you should be good to go. So that's pretty much it. That's all you have to do to clean it. Just wipe everything down, re-lubricate everything that needs to be lubricated, which is literally just your gears and your the inside of your cylinder, to make sure that that has good lubricity and that it isn't causing any extra friction that's not necessary in the system. And then once you assemble it, if you need, you should always test it before you do a complete final assembly, just to make sure that everything went in properly. One thing that I always forget is that this is not the standard quick change spring system. This has a buffer tube weight in here, which I showed in my initial video where I took this apart. So once you put this together, don't forget to insert that before you start shooting the gun. Otherwise, it could cause issues and you could end up messing up your piston. But yeah, once you're done, just... Oh, I didn't have the battery connected. So once you're done, just make sure you test it so that you don't have to put everything together again and then find out that something's not working and then you have to undo all your work and look for the malfunction. So once you get to this point, and you have to get it to this point to test it, unfortunately, because like I said, it's got that buffer weight in there which holds the spring in, and if that's not in, you can't test it. So looks like it's working. There you go. That's pretty much all the maintenance stuff you need to do for a T10. I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask and I will answer as I am able to. So I've been trying to figure out what was going on with my buddy's T10 for a while. I haven't touched it in a bit just because he's had it, but I asked him to bring it over to me today, and he did, and I opened it up and I found out that the issue was being caused by this rubber pad here. It had fallen off. Somehow the adhesive that held it in place gave out, and that rubber piece fell out, and it was just floating inside of his cylinder, which was, I'm assuming, what was causing the problem. I'm gonna put this together and test it out and see if it's functioning now. Hopefully that was it, because if that wasn't the problem, I honestly don't know what to do to fix it next. But I'm being optimistic that that was it, and that should fix the issues that he was having. So wish me luck, and hopefully I got this thing figured out. A couple of last minute notes that I wanted to point out with maintenance for your builds, regardless of whether it's for a T10, AEG, HPA, GBB, whatever kind of build you run. definitely pick up some sort of bore snake, something like this, a soft rope that you can run through the bore, through your barrels, or a bore mop like this. This one is in a 556/223 that you can run down your barrels to clean them out, because if your barrel gets clean or dirty, which it will over time through use, something's gonna get in there. Some kind of gunk is gonna get in there and get it dirty, and as the BB's flying through the barrel, it could cause it to veer off course and affect your accuracy. So definitely pick up, like I said, a bore mop or a bore snake of some sort. Dip it or get it a little bit wet with some alcohol, run it through your barrel to make sure that it's clean, and then have another one on the side that isn't wet and run that through it as well to dry it out and completely clean it up. Maintaining your barrel is going to be the best thing for your accuracy that you can do, so make sure you're doing that with any build, not necessarily just the T10, which is what this video is about. And then a quick note on my buddy's T10, which I will be including in this video as an update. It was that rubber pad that was causing the issue, so we chronoed it and tested it after I put in a new cylinder head, because I happen to have a spare one on hand, and it's shooting amazingly. I got it working. His gun is freaking awesome. It's performs way better than mine because he has a better motor, but it's freaking fantastic, and he absolutely loves it. So I'm glad I was able to help him figure that out, and I can't wait to go out and play with him for him to be running that, because like I said, the thing absolutely rips. It puts mine to shame, and if I had to be totally honest, I am really proud of my T10 build. I think it's amazing. So thanks for watching, and I hope this helps anybody who needed it.